Zoom room with Dave Delli'sola, Labor Director. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Chris. Hi, Bree. How you doing?
Doing all right.
We're doing all
That's
right.
good. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it as always.
Of course. Let's go ahead and unpack. PUA ended September 4th. So, what's the status with anybody who was on the pandemic unemployment assistance?
Well, yes, you're correct. The last eligible work week was September 4th. And there's a little bit of confusion when I said October 4th was the last date that a new claimant can file a claim. And but the 4th of September is the last eligible work week. So, of course, we on Tuesday we batched, and that batch came out to $7.7 million, and we'll continue to batch for the next couple months as everybody gets cleaned up. And so the big news I want to just kind of say is we're getting a lot of people coming in trying to get the last few weeks cleaned up and paid out. So I want to tell everybody that please, before you make an appointment or call for help, to upload all the necessary documents on your account, so that way when the customer service person logs into your claim, they can see and validate what you're trying to ask for and correct everything right then and there for you to be, on the next batch. So please upload all your documents before you come down. And I always want to mention that the PUA on the second floor at the bell tower is open. Walk-ins most likely will come in and get an appointment, or if there is availability, you'll be seen immediately. We've had some challenges in the last couple of weeks with the positive COVID of some of our personnel, and we had to shift resources around. So we're just trying to be extra careful with with trying to ensure that everybody's safe and we keep the crowds to a minimum. That way we don't end up shutting down the whole operation. So please call. It's really by appointment only, but if you come in and there's availability, you'll be seen and or given an appointment. And if you are seen, please have all your documents that you need. Be prepared, have it uploaded, and then we can take care of you as quickly as possible.
Has there been any other issues that have arisen since the PUA program ended, or the payments?
No, just that everybody is panicking kind of and trying to get in their claims fixed, especially those who haven't filed for a little while. And when work search went on in August, there was a lot of challenges that some of these claimants had trying to enter in their work searches. A lot of them think that they were exempt for one reason or another, and the guidelines were quite clear on the exemptions. So if you are self-employed, or that last week where I announced that I would give parents who had to stay home because school closed, those are pretty much the only two exemptions for the work search that are, and you would have to upload your documents, and we'd have to manually correct it. The system isn't designed to do that automatically. It's only designed to, if you have income, it will exempt you from the work search, or if you put in 3 work searches. Other than that, we have to go in and correct the problem or the issues that are on your weekly claims.
I had spoken to a friend, and they were telling me how they had received, there's like a balance for PUA in payments, but on the 4th, it just stopped, that they didn't get that remaining balance. Is that something? Is that happening?
And that's kind of confusing a lot of people. Mm-hmm. It's kind of complicated, but it's not their balance. It's kind of like, remember, the first program was a 39-week program, and you can come in whenever you were laid off or shut down in your work. So if you came in at the beginning of the middle of March from the first shutdown, you had a balance of 39 weeks. And if you went all the way to that 39 weeks, sometime in November, you ran out. But if you came in September, then when the program ran out, you would have had a balance left on that 39 weeks. You understand? So it's just a running balance of eligible money if you ran the whole program. It's not your money and your balance like some people claim. So especially people like on reduced hours, you're not drawing down your whole amount that you could possibly get if you were unemployed. You'd be getting a reduced amount. So that's, like I said, if you were running on a 39-week program, you would be able to see your balance and know that when you were going to run out of money. But a lot of people, most people ran up all the way through the end of December when the program ended and didn't run out of that 39-week balance. And then, with the CARES continuing assistance added another weeks through March. And then when the ARP came in, it extended it till the 4th of September. So those balances increased naturally, but that's not something that is a claimant's balance and they're due that money. I hope I explained it kind of. It's a little difficult.
So what happens now? I mean, now that the program's done as of the 4th, do you guys have to file any sort of paperwork with USDOL, any kind of reports?
Actually, the program will be going on continuously till June of next year.
Oh, I see.
When you give out $805 million plus, there's going to be a lot of audits, reconciliation reports. DOL is going to come in, and it's a lot of cleanup. We still have to do all the appeals. We still have to do all the waivers. We still have to make sure everybody's cleaned out and paid out, and the system is, completed, run our reports, get audited. So there's a lot of work that needs to finish up, and we hope that we can do that in a quick manner.
Has there been any discussions yet on a local unemployment insurance program?
The governor did mention, and I am putting out the word out there and looking into it. It's not something that happens overnight. It takes years to put together a full-blown unemployment insurance program. One of the things that I suggested to the governor is that we try to look for grants to come in and get somebody to come in, look at our workforce, look at our needs, and decide how to best design an employment program that fits the island and makes sense for the island, or if it even makes sense, because it's 100% employer paid. So that will be another burden to the employers for the employees to put in and fund the trust fund. So there's a lot of variables in doing that, and it's usually the largest department in any DOL program, and the most extensively staffed and most complicated. So it's something that you want to go into very, well planned and organized, and ensure that we looked at like Virgin Islands and some of the other places that have it. What are the lessons learned? What are the things that work best, and what are the things that aren't working? So we can see whether or not we can design a program that's scaled down to Guam's small workforce.
Yeah, I just
still sustainable.
Yeah, no, I just figured I'd ask because she was the one who mentioned it in her State of the Island address that she wanted.
So we're still looking at it, working on it, and especially as PUA starts winding down and my resources and my time become less demanding, I can start shifting over to looking at that more often, and like I said, we're working heavily on the AJC side, on American Job Center. We're of course traffic, stepping up on that, and we're doing the best we can to try to help the unemployed, align them with the jobs that we get submitted. I know you're having a hard time finding employees. I hear it all the time. Please submit your jobs with us to be a part of your recruitment plan.
Dave, I know that that plan where you guys were going to subsidize the hiring of displaced workers into different industries. I know that you said that there was a delay. Is it still a delay, or have we just scrapped that thing?
It's not did I say delay? It's more of a hold.
Okay.
Right now, if you, in the last couple of weeks, GITA put out the small pandemic assistance grant.
Right.
And that grant will give monies to a lot of the businesses, and that money is a lot more flexible. So when they get this the lump sum of this money, they can use it for employment, they can use it for back rent, power, opening, whatever their needs are. So the chamber wanted that flexibility to try to get more businesses to get open, and use that money also for employment. And so the governor funded that as much as she could. And now we're kind of seeing, she said, Dave, down the road, we'll see how well it works, how it does. And, if the business party Tao is still needed, we'll turn around and revisit it.
Have you been tracking what's been happening with the paramedic program over at GCC? Because from what I remember, part of the funding was coming from the Manpower Development Fund, and so there's a situation where KHEP has pulled accreditation for the Guam program.
Yeah, that was for the fire department. We do apprenticeship programs in cooperation with GCC, and they basically put together a cohort of people, and they ran them through the paramedics program, kind of like a boot camp program for a certificate. And that way, we do that. We've done that in the past with the GPD, GPA, GWA, where we help train them using the Manpower Development Fund. I'm sure if you don't remember, comes from the H2 fees, and that is designed for apprenticeship. So that money is used to help fund apprenticeship programs at GCC to make it so that it's essentially free for those clients that are doing it. So that's being a state apprentice agency. We put together apprenticeship programs for various people like them, and also private sectors like duty free. We also run the GRAP, which is the Guam Registered Apprenticeship Program, which is a very 50% tax credit for businesses. That's something that I want to try to push and get out more. I think businesses can take advantage of that and get a tax saving as they train their workforce, which a lot of them do naturally. When you hire somebody, you basically train them into becoming who they are. Like, Bree or Chris, I'm sure you doesn't get hired and then all of a sudden you're on a mic or doing the news. You had to get trained, either get some schooling, or to become the experts that you are. That, it takes time. And we can put together a program where you would mentor these new people, train them up, and they would get 50% of their salaries through a tax credit, and your salary that when you work with them is 50% through a tax credit. And they would, at the end of the program, come up with a certificate that says that they're whatever they are, a news caster or whatever we have thousands of different titles that we can put together and put it into a training program where they can get that certificate. And then that way, when they, like Bree, if you go back to the States and you want to get one of those big TV stations, you have that certificate that says, you are a certified newscaster, news anchor, and you get paid those big bucks.
But these firefighters aren't getting that national certification because the accreditation.
They will. Remember, it's an apprenticeship program. So they went through that boot camp, and that's basically kind of like a pre-apprentice. And then they go to the fire department, they start working, and they go to school and work at the same time. That's the whole pay as you get your apprentice, as you get your certificate. And at night, you may go to GCC to attend more classes or the balance of like that. And we are doing some of them aren't apprenticeships, some of them are certificate courses where it depends on the field that they're trying to get. And they will get a certificate of something, and then that helps get more bodies into the paramedics instead of, because it's so hard to find a trained one that's readily hired. And this way you can bring cohorts, get them in, get them trained, and have them train up, and then in a year or two they become certified paramedics, and that's how you build your workforce.
I know. I'm just relaying what we were told by GFD when they came on last week, that because the School of EMS, the lost certification for this program, the Guam program from KHEP, the accrediting body, they're no longer going to be nationally certified paramedics, which, they thought that was going to be the end goal. That was what the governor was like, oh, we're going to have these nationally certified paramedics. But somewhere in between when it started to
we
last
did a story
week,
on it, Dave.
Yeah, and so we had a paramedic on who was kind of upset about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I missed it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Or I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Miss the link, miss a lot, Dave.
I missed that week. I must have been out working.
Right on,
Yeah.
right on. Good for you. You good?
Yeah. Well, unless there was anything else.
Yeah.
Dave?
In closing, Dave.
No, just that you remember October 4th is the last for new claimants to file. We're probably looking at the end of October that when we're going to shut down the online applications of filings. So again, the moral of the story is get your docs together, upload them, and do all the weeks that you can, and then come see us if you need help and get an appointment. We are, now that we're shifting towards just fixing people's claims, we can shift more people into it. Now that we're not having to do all the batching and doing all that stuff and preparing for new weeks to come in, all we're going to do is when we hit a new claimant, or when we hit a claimant that has a problem, once we fix them, we don't have to see them again because the weeks are completed. So we should be able to move fairly rapidly to clean everybody up and get everybody paid on, and we will continue to batch every 2 weeks. And as we move on, and yes, please come and see us if you have a problem. Upload those documents.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you again soon. You be safe.
You too. 7:27. Let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll continue the show next. Don't forget your chance to win big money this morning. How much money, Jason? How much money?
$500.
500?
Not 100.
No.
Not 200.
No, not even 200.
Not
300?
even 300.
No way. 400. We're giving away.
Got to keep going.
450.
Keep going.
451.
You got to coordinate.
452.
No.
475.